Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I'm Angelina from class 3B. I will read the poem The Raven by Edgar Allan Poe. The Raven by Edgar Allan Poe. Once upon a midnight dreary, while I pondered, weak and weary, over a many quiet and curious volume of forgotten lore, while I nodded, nearly napping, suddenly there come a tapping as of someone gently rapping at my chamber door. "This some visitor," I muttered, tapping at my chamber door. "Only this, and nothing more." Ah, distinctly I remember it was in the black December, and each separate dying ember wove its ghost upon the floor. Eagerly I wished the morrow. Finally, faintly I had sought to borrow from my book's suitcase of sorrow, sorrow for the last learner, for the rare and radiant maiden whom the angels name Lenore, nameless here forevermore. And the silken sad, uncertain rustling of each purple curtain thrilled me, filled me with fantastic terrors never felt before. So that now, to still the beating of my heart, I stood repeating, "This some visitor, entreating, entrance at my chamber door. This it is, and nothing more." Presently, my soul grew stronger, hesitating then no longer. "Sir," I said, "or madam, truly your forgiveness I implore. But the fact I was napping, and so gently you came rapping, and so faintly you came tapping at my chamber door, that I scarce was sure I heard you. Here I opened with the door. I opened wide the door. Darkness there, and nothing more. Back into the chamber turning, all my soul within me burning. Soon again I heard tapping somewhat louder than before. "Surely," said I, "surely there is something at my window lattice. Let me see, then, what treat it is, and this mystery explore. Let my heart be still a moment, and this mystery explore. This, the wind, and nothing more." Open here, I flung the shutter, when with many a flirt and flutter, in there stepped a stately raven of the saintly days of yore. Not in the least obeisance made he, not a minute stopped or stayed he, but with mien of lord or lady perched above my chamber door, perched upon a bust of Pallas just above my chamber door, perched and sat, and nothing more. Then this ebony bird beguiling my sad fancy into smiling, by the grave and the stern decorum of the countenance it wore, though thy crest be shorn and shaven, though, I said, art sure no craven, ghastly grim and ancient raven, wandering from nightly shore. Tell me, tell me that why tell me what thy lordly name is on the night's Plutonian shore. Quoth the raven, "Nevermore." Much I marvelled this ungainly fowl to hear discourse so plainly, though its answer little meaning, little relevancy bore, for we cannot help agreeing that no living human being ever yet we blessed with seeing bird above his chamber door, bird or peace upon the sculptured pass above his chamber door, with such name as Nevermore. But the raven, sitting lonely on the placid bus, spoke only that one word, as if his soul in that one word he did outpour. Nothing farther than he uttered, no further than he fluttered, till I scarcely more than muttered. Other friends have flown before. On the morrow he will leave me, as my hopes have flown before. Then the bird said, Nevermore. Startled, startled at the stillness broken by a reply so aptly broken. Doubtless, said I, what what it utters is it only stock and store, cow from some unhappy master, whom unmerciful disaster followed fast and followed faster, till his songs one burden bore, till the dirges of his hopes that melancholy burden bore, of nevermore. But the raven still beguiling all my fancy into smiling, straight I willed a cautionate seat in front of bird and bust and door. Then, upon the velvet sinking, I betook myself to linking fancy unto fancy, thinking, what this ominous bird of yore, what this grim, ungainly, ghastly gown and ominous bird of yore, mean in croaking nevermore. This I said engaged in guessing, but no syllable expressing, to the fowl whose fiery eyes now burnt into my bosom's core. This and more I said divining, with my head at ease recycling, on the cushion's velvet lining that the lamplight gloated o'er. But whose velvet violet leaning up the lamplight gloating o'er? Shall she press, ah, nevermore? Then me though the air grew denser, perfume from an unseen cancer, swung by seraphim, whose footfalls tinkled on the tufted floor. Wretch, I cried, thy God had lent thee, but this angel he had sent thee. Respite, 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 and nepenthe from thy memories of Lenore. Carve, oh carve this kind nepenthe and forget this lost Lenore, quoth the raven, nevermore. Prophet, say I, think of evil, prophet still if bird or devil, whether tempter sent, or whether tempest tossed the hair ashore. Desolate yell all undaunted, on this desert land enchanted. On this home by horror haunted, tell me truly, I implore, is there balm in Gilead? Tell me, I implore, quoth the raven, nevermore. Prophet, say I, think of evil, prophet still, if bird or devil, by that heaven that bends above us, by the God we both adore, tell this soul with sorrow-laden if, within the distant Eden, it shall clasp a sainted maiden who the angels name Lenore. Clasp a rare and radiant maiden whom the angels name Lenore, quoth the raven, nevermore. Be that word our sign of parting, bird of fan, I shrieked, upstarting. Get thee back into the tempest and the night Plutonian shore. Leave no black plume as the token of that lie thy soul had spoken. Leave my loneliness unbroken. Quit the buzz above my door. Take thy beak from out my heart, and take thy from off my door. Quoth the raven, nevermore. And the raven never fleeing, still sitting, still is sitting on the pallid bust of Pallas, just above my chamber door, and his eyes have all the seeming of a demon's that is dreaming, and the lamplight o'er him streaming throws his shadow on the floor, and my soul from out that shadow that lies floating on the floor shall be lifted nevermore. The analysis from the poem The Raven by Edgar Allan Poe. The poem The Raven by Edgar Allan Poe consists of 18 stanzas. The poem The Raven tells the story of a lonesome man sitting in his bedroom, reading in ancient books late at night. The tiredness begins to creep into him when he thinks he hears someone or something knocking at his door. At first, he thinks it to be the wine, but when the knocking becomes more intense, the man stands up and opens the door to his room, only to find no one standing there. He stands at the open door for a while, staring into the darkness lying before him, and hears and sees nothing beside the name of his lost love, Lenore, being whispered presumably by the wind. Example of figurative language and the meaning of figurative language that I found on the Edgar Allan Poe poems entitled The Raven. One of the example is once upon a midnight dreary. In this line on poem entitled The Raven is form of figurative language is imagery. Imagery word that give idea of what something looks like. The word once upon a midnight jury as a figure of speech that describe how the fear of something is being experienced. Next, the matter. The Raven has 6 lines per stanza. Since this poem is made up of 108 lines, there are 18 stanzas. Line 1 and 3 of each stanza feature a trocade octameter each. In theory, lines 2, 4, and 5 feature a trocade octameter as well. However, the unstressed syllable is not present at the end of the line. One could say this trochee with 7.5 repetition. Line 6, the line containing the refrain, features a trochee with 3.5 repetition. Next is rhyme and repetition. In general, the rhyme of each stanza is ABC, BB, BB. The first and third lines do not rhyme with each other, while lines 2, 4, 5, and 6 do rhyme with each other. Lines 4 and 5 do rhyme by repeating the same word at the end, which is a called identical rhyme. For example, lines 4 and 5 of the first stanza both close with the word door in most cases, such as the one exemplified below. The rhyme not only concerns the same word but a repetition of the same part in a line, which is called epipora. Next is the figure of speech. For alliteration and assonance, there is almost no stanza without at least one instance of this structure. The metaphor in this poem is used almost frequently in the poem, which seeks to personify a crow and make it appear like a soul. And his eyes have all seeming of demons that's dreaming. That is the example of metaphor. Next is similar. Similar is defined as a comparison between two very different things, explicitly indicated by the word like or as. In the poem entitled The Raven, the reader gives example, on the morrow he will leave me as my hope have flown before. The first thing is the word on the morrow he will leave me, and the next thing is the word my hopes have flown before. And in these two things, there are conjunction as, which is where the conjunction connects two things together or two clauses together and gives a clear meaning. Next is the personification is a special kind of metaphor and simile. At the end of each stanza, the outer pole constantly applies a human characteristic, the ability to talk to a raven. The example is, quoth the raven, nevermore. Next is hyperbole. Hyperbole is a figure of speech in the form of an exaggerated statement or the fact that the possibility is very exaggerated. Based on apa? Based on the poem, the example is rare and the radiant maiden. The word gives an exaggerated meaning to mean a rare girl, and the aura that it appears in the girl is like shining like an angel. However, the hyperbole used by Allan Poe in his poetry is very good because he emphasizes something that gives a good meaning to be conveyed to the reader. The last is onomatopoeia. The example is this some visitor I muttered tapping at my chamber door. In this sentence, the figurative language itself is depicted in the words rapping and tapping. The pronouncement of the two sounds words are similar to someone knocking on a door. Okay, that's all from me. Thank you, ma'am. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.